Okay, good morning everyone, and welcome to No Net Zero Without SMEs. My name is Karen Clements, and I'm Deputy CEO of Lowe Associates, and I'm delighted to be able to guide our discussion here today. So you'll have heard over the last 36 hours repeatedly that SMEs make up 99% of EU businesses. They're also responsible together for 40% of the EU emissions, and yet their path to decarbonisation has probably the most challenges, because unlike big businesses, the drivers for them to change aren't as compelling. The cost reductions aren't as great, the support is not as big, the grants are not as big, and they have fewer resources to design and implement the change. So they need more incentives and they need more support. And we've certainly seen over the past 5 years a wave of policy frameworks designed to support industrial decarbonisation and some funding redirected towards it. But the real test lies in the implementation, and to what extent those ambitions contained in the policy frameworks are actually helping and turning into practical support on the ground. We also need to know what's working and what we need to replicate and scale success. And we also would like to know whether the recent simplification drive that the Commission has embarked on is helping or hindering SMEs in their efforts to decarbonise. So I'm delighted to have an eminent panel of speakers with me today who are going to help us answer those questions. They all are dedicated in their work to helping SMEs decarbonise one way or another. I'm delighted to be joined by Kaylan Hassin, CEO of Istia, a startup using AI to improve indoor air quality and building performance, and also a young energy ambassador for the EU. Welcome. Laima Balcione, CEO of Sunrise Tech Park and head of Clean Tech Lithuania, a cluster's catalyst for startups who are working towards decarbonisation. And Paul Robrecht, senior expert on business parks from POM Antwerp, currently engaged in building energy communities for business parks, and sharing that learning thanks to a live project called WeShare. And if you're interested, you can find out more. Well, POM, obviously Paul will tell you about WeShare, but there's more information as well available. So each speaker will give us a little insight into their lives, their story, how they're helping SMEs decarbonise and what they need to be able to progress. And then it's over to you for questions. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Kaylani to tell us how it's going and what your ambitions are and what you need in order to achieve them.
Sure. So maybe I will speak first of all about the situation of the SMEs in global. So as you say, it's 99% of the enterprise in Europe, and yet the lack of tools to decarbonize, and decarbonization is one of the key assets to be more competitive. Maybe I will share what we are doing at Istia. So maybe we can just change the slide. So we focus on indoor air quality and energy efficiency. So basically we create sensors that monitorize indoor environment, temperature, humidity, and we use that data to feed predictive algorithms and artificial intelligence to control the heating, the ventilation, and the cooling system in order to decrease the energy consumption of all buildings. It can be like huge buildings, small factory, or offices, for example. And at the end, our client can generate reports using generative AI that will help them to be to see how they can meet the regulation. For example, the SRI, the Smart Readiness Indicator, which is a regulation from the European Commission on energy efficiency. So basically, we help the client from the first measurement to generate energy saving and compliance with the regulation. So this solution is already in the market. We have deployed our solution in, for example, one of the flagship that we have done, the Olympic Village in France, but we are also helping SMEs and especially industrial SMEs where energy consumption it's a key. We also lead by example. I wanted to share one of the decarbonization projects that we have done at Istia. We have actually been part of one of the European projects called SUR 5.0. In that project, we have reduced the carbon footprint of our sensor by 50%. That means we have remove all the component that was not really necessary. We have worked on the material, on the recyclability, and that allows us to improve our margin on the product by 40%. So it was really key to be more performant, but also to reduce our carbon footprint. And we have also took that opportunity to work with local SMEs to produce our sensor. So it was a journey to limit the carbon footprint and to limit also the time from the factory to the customers. So what we really need to move forward, of course, I think funding is the key. So I think more cascade funding or opportunity for SMEs to decarbonize. And also, I think one platform can be like decarbonized for SMEs. But you can be amazing for the SMEs to get solution that's already there, that also affordable, because it's a very key point, because SMEs don't have a lot of budget. So the solution should be like easy to deploy, but also affordable. And the last point is more like how we can have policies that help the SMEs to decarbonize. So we have amazing policies, but sometimes it's more for the large corp. And so we can have something that it's really will really help us to achieve the goal of net zero, but also can be like flexible in terms of timeline or implementation that can be more easy for SMEs.
Okay, thank you very much. Could I just ask you a quick question on that? So you're very clear about the driver of low cost being a driver. What do you say with what do you see with your experience in IT as you see the most effective low-cost entry points for SMEs who are trying to decarbonize?
Sure. I think like SMEs don't have the tool or like in-house team to decarbonize, so they need really to have something that can be affordable and very easy to deploy.
Okay, thank you. Laima, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone, and thanks for having me here. I will start a little bit from the bird's view, since I'm not sure if the slides are changing. No? Okay. I can do it without the slides. Just let me know if we have them.
Do we have your slides? No, those are Paul's. Do we have slides for Laima, please?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, sorry.
So from the bird's view, in Lithuania, well, since we are working mainly with startups and SMEs that are willing and wanting to innovate, and entrepreneurs that are current or future startups and SMEs, mainly we are targeting those. that's entrepreneurs and innovators. And in Lithuania, for the last year, we have a number that we have more than 1,200 startups. And for Lithuania, it is quite a big number, because as you might know, we are quite a small country, 2.8 million people. That's 2 urban areas of Copenhagen. So having in mind this number, so it's pretty big for us. And during the 5 last years, entrepreneurial startup ecosystem grew 7 times, almost 7 times. So that means 100% more than 100% every year. So it's pretty huge. And at Sunrise Tech Park, we are really happy to be quite a big part of it and to contribute to the ecosystem. And we are an umbrella organization for different initiatives, for different projects. And a part of helping entrepreneurs, we are having 2 main pillars. The one is clean tech, green tech, climate tech, you name it. Because again, the market is small, we do not divide between those 3. And for that purpose, back in 2017, we established Cleantech Lithuania, which is a cluster for climate, not only entrepreneurs and startups, but SMEs. SMEs is the largest number of SMEs in the cluster. Also, we have universities, NGOs, and other organizations. And another dimension is digitalization. So for digitalization, we are coordinating European Digital Innovation Hub for the last 3 years, and another 3 years are still yet to come. So we are launching the new stage of the EDIH for the Vilnius region. And as you might see, the core of our activities, of our business, is the twin transition. The bottom line, what I want to say at the beginning of a panel, not at the end, still everyone is still listening. So the green transition, it is not about emissions. It is about the mission to resilience and to security of Europe, what is so important for us nowadays. And of course, it cannot happen without SMEs, because SMEs are those who are deploying clean tech, who are scaling it widely, and who are helping business of any shape or form, and even households to adapt clean tech and to help them decarbonize. With our activities, well, we do them a lot. I hope audience is familiar of what not only, well, in general, science and technology parks, what they are doing. We are also implementing many different projects that help SMEs to work with their innovation, to test, to pilot, to go into the markets, to scale, and so on. And perhaps one of the recent initiatives that I want to highlight is Green Grid. It's a project under the Euro Cluster initiative. And we will be helping SMEs with cascade funding to make audits for energy, for digitalization, and later we will be working with TSOs in order to solve their challenges with the help of SMEs. So SMEs, if they have any energy solution, any innovation, so they can test with our help, and at the same time help TSOs perhaps to adopt it and to implement it even wider. And what enables us, of course, it's great that we are at the heart of the largest in the Baltic talent pool, which is Sunrise campus. So we have 2 major universities of Lithuania near us. So we have the largest scientific institution, and of course we are representing the business part within the valley. And also we are really very happy and proud to be a member of many different organizations that also help us, to help our companies to embed into international value chains and other organizations, find partners, find funding, and so on and so forth. So we are partnering with Deep Tech Alliance, with CERN Venture Connect, with European entrepreneurs, with Lithuanian Business Angel Network, and with European Cluster Collaboration Platform, and many more. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So yes, science parks, business parks are very fertile ground for cooperation and collaboration when it comes to decarbonisation. And as you say, not just in terms of emissions, but missions towards sustainability and resilience. Paul, can you talk us through your work and your work with business parks?
I will stand up.
Yes,
it's okay.
Please do.
Hi, good morning. My name is Paul Robrecht, and I work for POM Antwerp. And I will take you in the trajectory of WeShare project we are currently doing with some partners. First of all, POM Antwerp is a public developer of of business parks, but also innovation clusters, so a link with the previous speaker. And we act as a facilitator. And we look at the business park as a location where renewable energy is generated, consumed, stored, and also shared among the members of the business park. So in this case, we are in a consortium, as you can see on the map here, in a project called WeShare. So WeShare is a project specifically aimed to develop energy community models for business parks. So it's really an industrial energy community, that's the aim. And the key takeaways for the WeShare project is to improve energy efficiency. First of all, that's the first step, but we'll come back to that later on. Increase local renewable energy generation and also share it efficiently in the business park. Lower the energy cost through local renewable energy generation. Reduce the energy dependency on external suppliers and also gain price stability. And as the last one is raise self-sufficiency and resilience. So what's our strategy? First of all, as I said in the previous slide, we will start with the energy efficiency in the individual SMEs. So that's the first step in our opinion. Second step is that we look for potential to install additional renewable energy. Could be solar or wind, and we also look at heat, because heat is, of course, as you all know, a big energy consumer, which we have to find a solution in decarbonization. First step is the use of renewable energy, so with the aim to maximize self-consumption, and also look at potential of flexibility, because it's not only the amount of energy you use, but also the time of the day when you use the electricity, which can be important or has an influence on the cost. And then also we look at the potential of storage, like batteries, but also heat storage. That also could be a very big or an important step. And last, if there is any excess energy, then we look at the potential to share it in between the members of the business park. So our approach is, we start in first step in a collective approach. Because we notice, and it's also said by the previous speakers, that it's a very complicated situation with the energy production today and use, because we come from a central energy production and now it's decentralized. We are all prosumers, so it's a complex situation. So we go to the business park and we call meetings like this just to inform and to raise awareness with the SMEs on the business park. And then, as I always say, we look for believers. So we think if you are with only 3, you can start and share energy. So even with 3, and I will come back to it later, it's a good idea to start the energy cooperation. Second, if we then have, like, let's say at least 3 believers, we go to individual to each SME in the business park who is interested, and we do a site visit, which results in a report. And the report has recommendations for energy efficiency measures and also potential for renewable energy. And then with these reports, we start with the analysis of the potential for energy sharing. So that's the third step, as you can see here on the slide. It's the startup of the energy community. So we also look, very important, I don't know, situation in the rest of Europe, but in certain countries in Europe, there is a problem of congestion because the net is, the electrical grid is not heavy enough to support all renewable energy and distribution. So that's a very important point to investigate on the business park. And also this raises more potential for projects to give flexibility to the DSO. So maybe there's also could be a kind of a revenue for these services. So we all look at this situation, and then in the next step, if we have the potential for the energy community, we really start the energy community, and we support in setting up the energy community with the legal structure and registration. And then we will really start with the energy community, and we also have a solution to manage the energy community. It's like a digital platform, we call it Powerful, and this platform is created to manage and to really manage, in fact, the energy community. And from there, once it started, we can build up the energy community and add additional services. So this was the theory. Now I will go to the really in the field and show some examples of projects which are existing today. So basically, in the energy communities, we have two business cases, as you, I don't want to use the word, but I did it. So we have two potential cases to exchange energy. The first case is that we locally exchange the generated renewable energy on the business park. And the business case there there is always a spread in between the cost of the electricity and the fee you get to inject your excess of energy. And this spread, usually about 100 euro per megawatt hour, you can use that to split this spread in between the party injection and the party which is using the energy. So there's a kind of let's say, business case. And second one is that we look at collective investments in local new renewable energy. And I will come to this business with a few examples from the WeShare project, because in the WeShare project we have pilot cases in Spain, in Getafe, the south of Madrid, Chines, if I pronounce it well, in a big harbor in Portugal, and then Antwerp in Belgium, the province of Antwerp. There we look at, let's say, 15 business parks, where we, as I presented in the previous slides, deploy this strategy on the business park. So this has led already to a number of cases which are really active right now, and I will go more in detail. The first one is an energy community in the south of Antwerp. Yeah, you can see a photograph of the business park, and this was really the start of the energy community as we look at it in Flanders or in Belgium, because it's operational since March 2023. So it's already 2 years and a half. And as I said, you can start small, because we started there with 3 companies, 3 members. And this was really an initiative from the POM, from our organization, to showcase. So we invested to create an energy community. We invested in this project, and we started there the energy community, or we supported the start of the energy community. And since March 23, 3 members started. Now we are 2 years and a half later. There are 60 members. 7 of them are PV producers, so they inject in the energy community, and 9 other companies are consuming from the energy community. This results over this whole period in about 900 megawatt hours energy locally generated and locally used. So it's a big step, I think. But this is only half of the potential of the members, the actual members right now. So it means that there is still a lot of potential for new members to enter this energy community. So, as I explained in the first business case, if you remember from the previous slide, this energy community results in financial benefits for as well producer as consumers of the energy community, and also there's a certain percentage of the revenue which is reserved for the energy community, so it can operate and manage the energy community. And then we also see that this results also in investments in additional renewables. So very important result. So this, as I said, was really the start of the energy community project which we are running in Flanders. So now this case in Lier, also in the province of Antwerp, is an energy community which will start right now. As I speak. So it will be operational by the end of this year. And there we deployed the approach as explained in the previous slide. So we started to raise awareness and info sessions and so on. And this resulted, what we did there, we collected all the quarterly data of 18 companies which showed interest, so 18 believers. So there we had this simulation. So we have the data of 2024 because we want to have for 12 months, we have the quarter data. So it's a lot of data. And there we put together all the energy profiles, and then we looked at the potential for energy sharing. And I try to explain it on the slides here, but yeah, it's a little bit, it's local energy community, sorry, yeah. Local energy community. So as you can see here, 18 potential members. So we're in the process of registration right now. So as you can see, the potential shows that we can reduce the amount of excess energy to inject in the grid, the regional grid, by 70%, and use this 70% representing 600 megawatt hours to use it on the business park. So that means that it stays locally generated renewable energy, locally consumed. And that results also in a reduction of 12% of the traditional energy suppliers, so that you can share energy within the community, within your business park. Also results in financial return for both parties and in lower cost, and also potential for investments in new renewable energy projects. And now we're looking at potential for, so there will be new solar, but we also look at potential for wind, small wind turbines. So second case, and the last one. This one is a case of potential for collective investment. So as you can see on the left side of the slide, we analyzed the assets of 12 companies. It's the 12 numbers that you can see over there, with the current PV, potential of new PV, planned PV project. But we also noticed that in the orange is number 1 and 2, there are 2 large industrial roofs. And I think there's a huge potential of unused roofs on business parks, because typically you have logistics, a very big building with a big roof, of course, but there's no consumption under the roof. So there's no trigger for the company to invest in renewables. So by deploying an energy community, by sharing the energy locally, there's maybe a business case to, or not maybe, there's a business case to install renewables on the industrial roofs. So we made the analysis over here, and then we have the potential of 2 installations of 300 kilowatt peak, meaning, resulting in the energy generated on this roofs, that 85% of this energy can be locally used. So again, this shows that there is a potential to go more in an autonomous way on the energy community. Also there, so there's a financial return for the one who is investing in the solar, and also for the one who is using the renewable energy. And it will, as it's stated here, lower the cost for the consumers. So, last slide. Concluding. So I think that if you followed the story of WeShare, that there's really a potential for energy communities in the transition path towards 2030, 2040, 2050. So, but as also already explained, the SMEs need support because it's a very complicated situation. There's a limited awareness. Energy is not the core business of an SME. Can be maybe 5 people, 10 people, 20 people working there, but they're really focused on the product which they are delivering, and energy is not their core business, so they need help. They also need support in capacity building to be aware of also about the legal regulations which are coming from Europe and national transpositions. And then also need support in the industrial symbiosis, because there's really potential in exchanging energy, not only electricity, but also heat. So the support can be delivered by intermediary organizations such as POM, where I work, but I think there's a lot of organizations. There's also a need of support by EU, because this type of projects is really intensive, because we have to spend a lot of time to go to the SMEs to explain and to raise the awareness and the potential of these types of cases. And we also need, but that was also stated, a solid regulatory framework to support all this. So thank you for the attention, and if you are interested, you can really look at the WeShare website or LinkedIn and follow our activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I throw the floor open for questions, I'd just like to abuse my capacity as moderator to ask a further question to each of you. So, Keilani, you talked about your own company and the work that you're engaged with there, but as a young energy ambassador, how do you mobilize, or what do you find the most effective ways of mobilizing other entrepreneurs and SMEs who are interested in decarbonisation?
So what we have done this year, it was to actually, we built events into our incubator in Paris to talk about energy, but in different ways. I mean, we talk about innovation because it's our core work at what we are doing at Istia, but also we invite people that have a social impact. For example, with creating communities in rural region in France. So yes, we actually not only deliver technology, but we also, as energy ambassador, I put people in the same place to talk about energy and how we can build bridges, has competitiveness with innovation, but also with social impact, with access to energy and solution to be more efficient, because it's also cost money for SMEs and citizens.
Okay, thank you. Laima, unlike Paul, most of the startups that you engage with do have energy as at the core of their business model, but how important is the clustering effect in terms of motivating and replicating?
Well, it's As for Cleantech Lithuania, well, we have several value chains, if I can call it so. Because energy, of course, it is the largest part of a cluster, but also we have some different ones for industrial symbiosis, for circular economy, for water treatment, and so on and so forth. But even if those companies are different, at its core, still clustering is very important for them. Because through us they can reach out to other markets, to their counterparts, because we are reaching out and participating in networking and other activities with different clusters. And for SMEs, well, most of the time they are very busy with their own daily works and activities. And it's quite handy when we call them and, there is an SME that is looking for partner at some SME instrument to collaborate on. So it's just one of example, because we also organize some business missions and we explore different markets. For instance, last week, together with European Cluster Collaboration Platform, we participated in Taiwan at Energy Week. So it was really interesting for us. And of course, we bring some value to our companies because together with partners from other clusters, we bring some knowledge, something new perhaps that we can implement or adapt in the European market. So these are just a couple of examples. And of course, the project activities, those are very important to all companies. And we also provide services not only to cluster members, but a little bit broader. And as I mentioned already, one project, so if any of you in your network have a SME that is energy intensive or have some solution for energy industry, just to reach out because we are about to launch a call. But also a part of this, there are other and cascade funding, and not only, we organize hackathons for SMEs. Recently we had a hackathon, Hack for Vilnius, with lots of entrepreneurs, and it was held together with the Ignitis Group, which is the largest energy provider in the Baltic countries. So they had their challenges, and startups and SMEs, they solved it. And not only, of course, students were participating as well. And up to this day, this is the largest hackathon in Lithuania, it turned so. So it's really great to have these initiatives. And another example that I want to mention at this event, because it was a national winner of European Enterprise Promotion Awards. It was pre-accelerator Futurepreneurs for impact-driven entrepreneurs. And it was a flagship initiative in Lithuania back then, so we ran it for 7 years. And well, the main target was students, but still we involved lots of SMEs, successful businesses and venture capital companies to help students to be future SMEs, future startups.
Fantastic, thank you so much. Paul, you talked about finding believers. Is that how you typically start in terms of recruiting SMEs who, as you say, don't necessarily think about energy or don't know a lot about energy to your energy communities?
Yeah, I think we can call it believers because for a lot of SMEs it's like unexploited territory. It's very new. It's also very new in the legislation because I don't think there are a lot of energy communities on business parks at this moment. So, but there's a huge potential, I think, and I think also Europe sees this potential. So we really call them believers because you have to invest some time of your own to invest some effort to really start together with this project, because it's not that you say, okay, I'm interested and we do the work. No, we have to work together. So it's quite intensive. So I think the believers is a really good terminology to describe it. Yes.
And they then spread the word to.
Yeah. That's why I said that was the experience we learned from the first project in south of Antwerp, where we started in 2022, in fact, because we started there with some sessions. Then we had like, I don't know, 15 to 20 people, and we repeatedly done new sessions. And at the end, because we did it very intensively every 2 weeks in breakfast sessions, we resulted with 7 companies still interested, still wanted to invest time to come over there and to give input. And from this 7, we started with 3. So you see, it's really a project that you have to do. So yeah, so I think that's indeed the best description.
Thank you. So it's your turn. Who would like to ask a question, please?
I'd like to ask
Paul, yeah.
We'll just get the microphone because
There's a microphone.
I know it's a small room, but I think it's just easier so that everyone can hear. Thank you.
Thank you. 2 things. In these energy communities in Belgium, do you use the public or the available grid, or do you build a new grid between the users, producers and consumers? First question. Second question, do you still have any costs on the energy that you have to pay to the, I don't know, energy provider, to the grid managing network, whatever? And third, do you certify your CO2 emission reduction with CO2 certificates, carbon credits?
Yeah. I will try. So the first one is about the grid. Think. Yes, we use the existing public grid. There's also on the slide, but I did not elaborate on different technical options. But there was also the potential of to install a direct line. But of course, that means a really investment in copper, let's say, and that of course you have to look at the distance. But that's also a potential case. But 99% of the case we use the public grid, which also means that when I talk about the cost or the revenue, that it's only when you have the invoice of your energy, you have really energy, but then you have a lot of taxes and all costs, and all this cost you still have to pay. So you can only work, let's say, on the energy cost of really electricity cost of the invoice. So that's the consequence of using the public network. Then the second was yes. You can agree on a rate in between in the energy community. You make a split, as I said. There's the split in between the injection fee you get and the cost. There's a certain spread, and then you can agree 50-50, whatever it is, doesn't matter, but that's the discussion of the members of the energy community. The second question was, is there any cost? So I think I responded to that. And then we can also, there's also potential. You can, in the energy community, you can also manage the CO2 certificates. Yes, you can also do it. Yeah, it's also legally possible to manage these certificates in the energy community.
Only inside. You cannot sell them outside.
You can also sell them. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you can manage also in the energy community. That's in the regulation. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Mathilde Rabi. I have a question as well for you. I work for Cooperatives Europe, which is the EU federation representing cooperative enterprises of all sectors. And we collaborate very often with one of our members, Rescoop, which is, exactly, cooperative energy communities. And I'm not an expert, so at least for me, I hear very often about citizen energy communities, citizen-led, and this is one of the rare occasions when I hear between enterprises. So my question was, talking to citizen is a thing, but how do you talk to companies? How do you get them into this project? Does it come from people in the company? Does it come from the management? Where's the will to join this community?
Yeah, we start the interaction with the SMEs through. We look for a business association, so that's really an organization which represents the company is on a business park, so we try to go there, and there they have the right contacts, because it's indeed very difficult to find the right person to talk to in an SME, but mostly they have them. And then we are really directly with the right person, and then we can start a trajectory of, as I say, raise awareness and so on. The other case is that you really try to invite through local authorities or other intermediates to try to engage people to come to a meeting and start explaining. So, but it's a very intensive project indeed. Yes, So to complete it, because Zuidrand, that's also a cooperative. A member of Rescoop is also a partner in this project, so they're also involved. Yeah.
Any other questions?
If I may add
Yes.
something, I think also that we see large corporates doing energy production with solar panels. So I think the movement is going. So I think SMEs will see more and more examples of large corp producing energy, and especially with the deployment of IV. So with the IV, we need to rethink how the people are going to work, and so how the energy of the building, of the company, is going to flow between the IVs and the different tool of the building. So I think we will have great example of large corp, and it's going very well for the moment. And so it will be a great example for SMEs to follow. Especially energy is very, very a huge topic for SMEs. It's one of the first bill that they have to pay. So definitely, community for SMEs is a great tool.
So maybe if I can
Yes.
Go further on in detail, because this was a limited introduction, but one of the services we look at of an energy community is just what you say. It's like a collective parking area where people who work for the SMEs can park their car, and they can use at reduced tariff the solar energy to load the electrical vehicles. So that's one of the cases we also looking at. So to make sure that everybody can step into this energy transition. But as I said, we look at a lot of different services as potential for an energy community, but we are really at the beginning, so we start very small, and then from there we build up this potential services. Among is this the EV loading potential, indeed.
Can I add? So in Lithuania, we also have civil energy communities and for businesses as well. And what I want to point out is the scale of it. For example, 30 years ago, we could not think about having a laptop or even about a smartphone or anything. So it was not affordable, it was not available. And now the same is happening with energy. Anyone can become energy provider. And in Lithuania, anyone, household, any shape or form of business can apply for not only for solar plants, but you also can buy or rent a part of wind plant. So it was an innovation for, I don't know, globally, I would say. It was back in 2021 or 22, something like this. So now you can also apply for a battery. We have subsidies for electric vehicles, for charging stations, and so on and so forth. So just you have to invest a little bit, and you are an energy provider. So.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's about you having to invest
you have
first
to,
in order to be able to have access to these. And the situation is very different in different regions, in different member states.
Yes. Well, at least in Lithuanian case, so it's and in general, I believe it was 30% last year when Lithuania had produced its energy that it consumed from renewables. And it's accumulated that in several coming years, all the Baltic countries will be able to produce energy for themselves and will be even able to export energy for traditional industry-intensive countries and energy-intensive countries like Germany and others. So,
Paul, did you want to come
Yeah,
in there?
that's what I meant to say with it, that the situation is very different from central production to decentralized, and we're all prosumers. So it's you can look at it as a complicated situation, but at the other end, you can also look at it as a chance, as an opportunity to involve many people in this energy transition and also raise awareness and build more installations for renewables. Indeed.
Absolutely. Yes, please.
Yes, I'm presenting myself, Alessandra from Cassisi from Rimond. We are working together with Paul in We Share. We are the coordinator of this project. A question for you, as you are more into really the innovation world. We see with We Share, but also in other projects where energy communities are citizen-led, that the world of energy is changing. So now this flexibility is really allowing to buy energy from all over the world, and the price is going to change every 15 minutes. So what is your point of view? What is the role of the distributor and especially of the operator of the energy grid? As Paul was mentioning before, without a dialogue with investors, it's impossible to enlarge the grid. So looking at this change, looking at also what the European Commission is doing, is trying to facilitate this dialogue with the DSOs and the TSOs. How innovation can really influence this? Can we define energy community as a potential battery?
Oh wow, it's a very, very interesting question. I mean, the energy provider and energy operator has also looking of a new solution. It's I mean, very difficult when we talk about flexibility and the grid to find especially tool, and I am thinking about AI apply to like the prediction of the demand and everything. But I think we still need new solution on that. And it's very difficult even for the operator to find like great tool to manage more efficiently the grid. But still, we are going there.
Can I add also on this? I mentioned previously Ignitis Group. So they have so-called smart energy or energy smart, I don't remember exactly. And they are gathering lots of data on how energy is used within the household, within the plants, public sector, and so on and so forth. And as I said before, we worked on that during the hackathon because there are massive amount of data, and you have to do something with it. You know, you have to extract some solutions, some innovation. But regarding the, for instance, TSOs, they are also collaborating. Annually, we are having among 3 TSOs of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, and we also invite a TSO from Great Britain, because Great Britain is like island. They have closed grid, and it's very important for us as 3 countries. Since at the beginning of this year, we got rid of Brel. Of the Russian energy, and it was very important, you know, to find solutions. What's after that? Nothing collapsed. Everything was great. So we are now having European energy, and very happy about that. But TSOs are collaborating further, and next December there will be meeting among European TSOs, I believe 7 countries, and they will be talking, speaking, and looking for solutions between startups and SMEs on how to, you know, exploit grids and so on.
Okay, thank you so much. I'd just like to ask one last question, if I may, and I think then, unfortunately, we're going to have to bring this to a close. If there were one thing that you could have tomorrow which would help you in your efforts to help SMEs decarbonize, what would that be? It can be policy, it can be a program, it can be a bit of funding, it can be what one thing would make a difference.
For me, it will be like a connection, to connect with other SMEs, to let them know that we have some solution to help them. So for me, it will be a platform.
So your platform.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
For me, it's about policy. I would be happy if Europe would protect its businesses more. Because,
in what way?
As an example, several years ago, we had many solar plants, but one by one they started to bankrupt because there was a big flood of cheap Chinese solar panels.
Okay.
So we need to find solutions to
Okay.
protect European businesses.
Okay. Paul.
I would, starting from the idea of energy communities on a business park,
Yeah.
I would think it would be great to have a more regulatory specifically for the energy sharing in between businesses, because now it's really complicated, and there could be some work to do to make it more accessible, more easy to use.
Fantastic.
And
Yes,
if I may
you
add
may
something,
have
because we talk about production of energy, but not a lot about efficiency. And we have to know that 2/3 of the all energy is wasted. And this week, the European Commission is in COP13, and they worked with the Solar Impulse Foundation to release a book with different solutions and use cases that have been done. So I also invite the SMEs to have a look at this book that have been done with the Solar Impulse Foundation and the European Commission, because producing energy is one thing, but energy efficiency, it's also one of the great tools that will lead us to competitiveness, but also decarbonation.
Fantastic. We'll make that required reading for your platform.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
Please,
if I may, because
yeah.
that's why I said in my slides that the first step we do when we look at a business park and energy sharing, okay, but energy sharing is like the last step. The first is energy efficiency inside the individual companies. So, because I agree there's a lot of work to do over there also.
Fantastic. Well, I'd like to thank all three speakers very much for your stories, for talking to us, but also for the work that you're doing. And thank you very much for turning up, and please continue the conversation online. Thank you.